Good morning to all. Today we are going to see about electromagnetic interference and electromagnetic compatibility. So, first let us define what is electromagnetic interference. It is just a phenomenon that degrades or affects the performance or normal functioning of a device or a system or a equipment. Any signal that affects the performance of a system is called electromagnetic interference. What is the nature of this electromagnetic interference? It can appear in the form of noise or an unwanted signal. Noise may contain useful or useless information. Next, the unwanted signal, which is not required for the normal functioning of a system, or any signal that can change the propagation medium. Like these, they can appear. Next term is electromagnetic compatibility. So, it is the ability of a system to function in an electromagnetic interference environment. At the same time, it should also not introduce any EMI or unwanted signal to other system. Next, through the diagram, we can see what is the mechanism of electromagnetic interference. Here in the diagram, a source and receptor is given. So there are many paths between the source and receptor. For example, path 1 to path 5 is available between the source and receptor. So what is this path 1? This is the path that carries a direct radiation from the source to receptor. Path 2. The radiation from the source is picked up by the cables. It can be a control cable or it can be a power cable or anything else. So in here, through conduction, the receptor is picking up the AMI. In part 3, the source is connected to a power cable. That power cable radiates some sort of energy. This is picked by the receptor. Next one is path 4. The source as well as receptor is having a common lines, that is power lines. Through this, the unwanted radiation is received by the receptor. In the path 5, this is not shown in the diagram, but when the source and receptor is having a number of cables, and these cables are harnessed or bundled together, means the signal from one cable can be coupled to the other cable. So these are the various paths through which the unwanted signal or the electromagnetic interference propagates from the source to the receptor. So the primary mechanism of electromagnetic interference is conduction as well as radiation. Next is intra and inter-system EMI. So what is intra-system EMI? You consider a system. In that system, a number of components will be present. Suppose one of the component is emitting an unwanted signal. This will act as a EMI to another component within the same system. This is called intra-system EMI. For example, they have given what are the emitters and susceptors in the intra-system EMI. For example, power supply, when it is acting as the emitter, your relay is your susceptor. Similarly, radio transmitters, mobile radio transmitters, fluorescent light, car ignition system are some of the emitters. The susceptors are relays, radar receivers, mobile radio receivers, ordnance, and car radio receivers. Next is inter-system EMI. When one system signal interferes with another system operation, it is called inter-system EMI. In here also, emitters as well as susceptors has been given. Lightning strokes, which is one of the natural source of EMI, and your susceptor can be a radio receiver or TV set or any equipment. Next, computers, power lines, transmitters, fluorescent light, aircraft transmitters. These are some of the emitters. Your susceptors can be radio receivers, TV sets, heart pacers, aircraft navigation system, taxi cab radio receivers, industrial controls, ship receivers, and so on. So, what is the effect of this electromagnetic interference? It can affect the normal functioning of a TV or radio reception for a short duration. Suppose when a mixie or grinder is working, their voltage variations can be an EMI for the TV and radio reception. Suppose when you are resetting the computers, some sort of signal is produced and this leads to loss of data. And when we are switching on and off the control equipments, some sort of signal is produced, that is a EMI. When a walkie-talkie works and if a pacemaker is near to it, means the normal functioning of the pacemaker is affected by the signal produced by a walkie-talkie, and functioning of a flight is even disrupted by the laptop used by the passenger, and biological hazards. Next, what are the sources of EMI? It can be either man-made or naturally occurring. So what is this is man-made EMI? Due to some electronic circuits manufactured by the human beings or large currents produced due to switching of some electronic gadgets. These comes under man-made EMI. Second one is naturally occurring EMI. This can be due to the atmospheric noise, cosmic noise, or lightning. Next, EMI can also be classified depending upon the duration of its existence. It can be classified as continuous or impulse. If it is existing for a longer duration, or if any emitter is going to give out a continuous signals, it is called continuous interference. It can be man-made or naturally occurring. Next one is impulse noise. It is going to occur for a short duration. This can also be emitted by man-made equipments or it is naturally occurring. Example, lightning or switching of systems also gives rise to impulse noise. Next, electromagnetic interference coupling mechanism. It can be either radiated, conducted or coupling. So when this radiating EMI is experienced means when the distance between the source and receiver is more than a wavelength. At that time, this signal received is called radiated EMI. This affects the performance of the receiver. Next is conducted EMI. Here, a path should be available so that the signals is carried, or it can be traveling along the path or a cable to the receiver. It can be classified as common mode as well as differential mode. In common mode, both the conductors will be having the same phase. That is not a signal or noise in both the conductor. If they are in same phase means we say it is common mode. In differential mode EMI, both the conductors, the signals in both the conductors will be out of phase. Next is coupling. Coupling can be classified as capacitive and magnetic coupling. This capacitive coupling occurs when a voltage is changing in the source, and this is capacitively transferred to the victim. In magnetic coupling, there is a variation in the magnetic field between a source and victim. So the conductors in this case are very close to each other, and the magnetic coupling occurs because of their varying magnetic field. So a current is induced in the victim, thereby transferring the signal from the source to victim. Thank you.